it's Michelle, and welcome back to the Royal Daily Tea. Hope everyone is having a lovely weekend. If you're not aware, I just appeared on Padina's YouTube channel with Paula M. We did a really nice 2-hour live, so if you are interested, you can go over to Padina's channel and watch our live. But you guys, the Christmas season is coming up. Right now, everyone is getting ready for those Black Friday deals. One of my best friends sent me this hilarious link where you can actually buy a title and become a lord or a lady, where you buy anywhere from 1 square foot to 10 square feet of land in Scotland, and you can get a lord or a ladyship title. So right now they're having a very big Black Friday special. You can even get a buy one, get one free. So I was thinking about going in and getting one for me and my bestie, where for 50 bucks, both of us can become ladies or ladyships of Scotland. So if you're interested, I will leave a link for you in the description. It's not sponsored, but I thought it was a wonderful idea for some royally inspired Christmas gifts. I'm going to be doing an entire video on royally inspired Christmas gifts on my other channel, probably next week, so you can go and become a royal yourself. Leave me a comment, let me know if you plan to get one. But you guys, we have a lot of juicy royalty to get through, so sit back and relax, grab yourself a beverage, and let's get into the Royal Daily Tea. So as I know you probably heard by now, Netflix is going to officially release the docuseries for Harry and Meghan that they have been filming for almost 2 years. It is going to drop sometime in September as they had originally planned. Now there is no exact release date, but it's going to be sometime in December. Now if you remember, a couple of weeks ago I did a video stating that they wanted to have The Crown come out in November and they wanted to have the docuseries in December. So Netflix is definitely gearing up for the ratings bonanza that they are expected to get. And Harry and Meghan said they wanted a year of visibility and a year of reconciliation. So here they are coming out with their docuseries, Harry's book, and then I guess they're going to start groveling and asking for forgiveness. But you know, there's always been a lot of drama associated with Harry and Meghan, a lot of whispers behind the scenes that they were extremely difficult to work with. I mean, shocker. So the rumor is there was apparently an original director before Liz Garbus that started on the project by the name of Garrett Bradley. Now, Garrett Bradley is an Oscar-nominated director who has worked on quite a few projects, but apparently they had some major artistic differences and he left the project. But one thing I have to say, you guys, this is Garrett Bradley. I'm not trying to be rude, but I literally thought that was Meghan. I was like, Meghan, girl, put on some moisturizer. He looks identical to Meghan. I don't know if he's trying to channel Meghan, morph into Meghan. He literally looks like if Omid Scobie and Meghan Markle had a love child, that would be Garrett Bradley. Like, why does he look exactly like Meghan? And the fact that nobody is talking about how he looks like Meghan, I mean, hi, that is like the male version of Meghan. So maybe she got rid of him because he was trying to look like her or morph into her. But apparently the main sticky point was that he wanted to film them at their home and they didn't want to be in their home. So I'm a little shocked because I thought that was the whole point, was filming Harry and Meghan in like a reality style video where we get to know them behind the walls of Montecito with their kids, make them real, make them authentic, kind of an on-the-wall docuseries. I mean, do we want to watch just hours and footage of Harry and Meghan shaking hands and kissing babies, walking around with a camera crew pretending to be royal? I mean, we've already seen that. We've seen all of that footage played out in the press. Do we want to watch it on a docuseries? That's like really old footage. Do you know what I mean? We want to hear and see them in everyday life, kind of like the Newlyweds for Jessica Simpson and Nick Lachey, called a fly on the wall docuseries for a reason. Meaning you want to be a fly on the wall and you want to peek inside their private life behind closed doors, not the carefully crafted, fake hand holding and smiling. And we're so in love that they're putting out in the public. We want to see behind the scenes. We want to see them take out the trash and do the dishes and who's holding the baby, who's yelling at the nanny to do something. We want to be a fly on the wall and spy behind closed doors, kind of like the Newlyweds. People loved it. But with Meghan and Harry, let's be honest, they're not going to ever show any real facts or any real footage that's not carefully crafted to their fake narrative. Meghan is too much of a control freak and a type A personality. Well, she will never ever let anyone come in and do that. So that's probably why she butted heads with the director when he was like, hey guys, we need to put some real footage in here. This fake little howdy doody shaking hands with people crap is boring. Let's get you behind the scenes with your kids in your house, that type of thing. But apparently Harry and Meghan didn't want to do that. So I don't understand what kind of docuseries this is going to be. Is it like a PBS special with footage? It's bizarre. So then Liz Garbus, came on board and they already had a lot of stuff filmed when she took over, but Meghan is already kind of throwing her under the bus as well. During her Variety magazine interview, she did the whole, it's not being told the way that Harry and I would like to tell it. We're letting the director have her creative license, kind of dishing on the director already. I think what happened was that Harry and Meghan were extremely difficult to work with. They were holding up production. The first director walked off. Netflix probably got extremely upset and either you put up or shut up or give us back the money. We need something. It's been 2 years. So they got Liz Garbus to come in and they pretty much had to be hands off at that point. Kind of like Spotify had to hire all those people and Gimlet to come in and take over production. I think Harry and Meghan were bottlenecking it and pushing it. And finally Netflix said, put up or shut up. And we're going to cancel this just like we did Pearl. And you're going to owe us the money. So Meghan probably heard that and realized, okay, we just need to get this out. So in my opinion, Harry and Meghan just want to get everything out. They want to complete the projects. They want to take the checks. And then they're going to go grovel on their knees back to the royal family next year. Or at least that was the rumor for the year of reconciliation, right? But again, it's like these two are just their own worst enemies. They're constantly just hanging themselves. And that's why I think the royal family is doing a great job of kind of hands off, because if you just stand back, they're such a train wreck. Eventually, they're just going to wreck themselves. So TMZ released a, quote, no BS documentary on Harry and Meghan, which was basically 100% BS. They pretty much took the Oprah Winfrey interview as fact. And everything they talked about was based on the Oprah Winfrey interview. TMZ are not exactly the world's best journalist, but you're trying to tell me you couldn't do any research to discover that there was 13 plus lies and inconsistencies from the Oprah Winfrey interview, and that Harry and Meghan are not known to tell the truth. There's so many lies and inconsistencies with a lot of things that they have said that I can't believe that TMZ would literally have the gall to call this a no BS documentary. First of all, it was really hard to get through. Let me just tell you that. And as an American, I was embarrassed because a lot of American people are so misinformed and are not aware of the royals and the royal protocol of the never complain, never explain. They were basically painting the royal family as evil, racist, who were mean to poor little Megsie, the clueless, divorced American biracial woman who had no clue what she was getting into when she married the royal family. I mean, are you serious right now? So they pretty much painted the narrative that the press and everyone was evil and racist, and that poor little Megsie was being silenced and she was being bullied, and that Harry and nobody in the family helped her, and nobody prepared her to become a royal duchess. Not the 14 people that was on her staff or the ones that were handpicked by the queen herself. Then they even made the joke about how Catherine, because she's from England, knew more about the protocol, she got more help, and they didn't care about Meghan because she was biracial and because she wasn't marrying the future king, which is complete BS. So it's embarrassing when people don't know anything about the royal family, they don't research it, and they're basing it off of the Oprah Winfrey interview. I literally could not believe it. The narrative, they're basically representing like 60% of the American population believe the BS that these two rogue royals have put out in the public. And that is why Harry and Meghan, in my opinion, are extremely dangerous, and that is why people like me and the other people in the royal community speak out against them, is because people need to know the truth. So on this docuseries, they basically were going over the points of the Oprah Winfrey interview, and the funny thing is a couple of them did bring up the fact that when Meghan made those quote-unquote accusations against a member of the royal family who may or may not have said a quote racist comment, she didn't come out and say who it was. He made it a point of saying that's duplicitous to basically put a blanketed statement out into the public without naming the context of how it was said, who it was said to, and they wouldn't reveal any of that information. So it was very, very damaging, and it was a character assassination against the royal family. So I was glad to see at least one person kind of brought up the fact, well, I like Harry and Meghan, but what she did was kind of messed up. It was a little messed up. It was a little, it was a little not being real here, how she kind of just puts out a huge statement, nothing to back it up, and then walks away. Says, yeah, I'm not going to talk about it. But then what was the point of saying it? Character assassination. And the main person, I think his name is Harvey Levin, did bring up a very good point of saying, although he did think they weren't treated correctly, he did find them to be a little bit whiny, because they are. They're crying over millions upon millions of dollars that they inherited, and then he wanted to have the public pay for his police protection. And then he quits the job and moves to another country. But again, some people, this lady on the show was like, but they're the most famous couple in the world and they need protection. I was like, ugh, I can't believe she said that. So it's a little cringeworthy, I will be honest. You can Google it. I believe it's on their website or on Tubi, Tubi. It's about an hour-long docuseries called TMZ No BS documentary on Harry and Meghan. So we have another interesting story. So the gentleman who is known infamously as the guy who sucked Fergie's toes back in 1992, where the Queen called it her annus horribilis, worst year ever, has a story in the news. He is talked about. He's had a 30-year friendship with Fergie and her kids, and apparently they had a 4-year dating relationship. It wasn't just a toe-sucking afternoon. Apparently they were together for 4 years. It was a very serious relationship where he had a very close relationship with her daughters. He basically said that back in 2019, Fergie called him frantically, and they flew him over to England and smuggled him into the Royal Lodge, where he gave Prince Andrew legal advice. So he is a big U.S. banker that works with a lot of celebrities, high-profile companies. He gives them a lot of PR advice and financial advice. And at that time, Prince Andrew and Fergie were having major financial difficulties. They were going through that lawsuit with the lady who they bought the Swiss chalet from. They owed her around $5 million. There was a lien on their property, and he was at the height of the problem with the disgraced billionaire whose name starts with an E. This was right after Andrew sat down and gave that disastrous interview, and they called him in to help get them out of this crisis. Now, what he did say was actually very surprising. He said he believes the Duke of York is 100% innocent and that he gave him some real honest advice. He called it the House of Croy, which is playing on the words of the House of York, kind of backwards, that he came out with a 5-page blueprint, a plan to help get Fergie and Andrew out of this sticky PR and financial situation. He said that Andrew was very distraught, was screaming, was yelling, and that he had never known Andrew to act that way before. That he said he is an outsider who has a lot of insider information, and he believes 100% that Andrew is innocent and had nothing to do with what was happening with the disgraced billionaire. So a lot of people now are kind of questioning, perhaps Virginia Giuffre got her memories wrong. She tried to go after that famous lawyer, and now he fought back, and now she's like, oh yeah, I think I misremembered. So who knows, guys? There's just a lot of gray area, unfortunately, that's happening with Andrew. But honestly, I don't see Prince Andrew ever coming back from this scandal. And recently they just announced that they had a huge falling out between Prince Charles and Prince Andrew, where Prince Andrew was pretty much told, you're never, ever, ever coming back and doing any royal duties. They most recently marked the 40th, I believe, anniversary of the Falkland Wars, and Princess Anne went instead of Prince Andrew to the memorial, so he was very upset about that. So unfortunately, according to John Bryan, the Duke of York did not follow his advice and the blueprint that he gave him to help him work with his brother and help him, I guess, absolve of this horrible situation. But he says he believes that the young girls are going to be able to turn it around for the York family, and he feels bad for the girls because he thinks they are the future. But, the Duke, he has a shattered reputation, and he doesn't know if he'll be able to come back from it, and that Prince Andrew did not take his advice. But he does say he believes he's 100% innocent. So very interesting to think that the man who was infamous for the toe-sucking incident actually had a real dating relationship with Sarah and cares about the girls, and the girls apparently care about him, or at least according to this article, and that they actually had to smuggle him into the Royal Lodge to give Prince Andrew advice. You never would have thought that would have happened in this day and age. What do you guys think about the docuseries of Harry and Meghan that's coming out next month? Do you think it's going to be a real fly-on-the-wall docuseries, or a lot of boring footage put out by Harry and Meghan? What do you think about the TMZ No BS docuseries? And what do you think about John Bryan, the infamous American businessman who came to the rescue of Prince Andrew? Leave me your comments, guys, down below. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you. And please be sure to check out my other YouTube channel. I will have a video on there next week. We have a lot of fun things planned for the month of December. So I hope to see you over there. Thank you guys, and have an awesome and amazing day. Bye, guys.